Oh, that was nuts.
That car is mad.
Good morning, guys. Welcome to the SOL YouTube channel. Now, today you join me in my living room. I'm about to leave. I'm about to go up to Gaydon, where the Aston Martin headquarters are, because they have given me an amazing opportunity to stand face to face with the brand new Aston Martin DBS Superleggera. Now, when Aston Martin sent that tweet out to the world that they were unveiling in June this brand new car, I was in America with Sam from Seeing Through Glass and Parker from Vehicle Virgins, and let's just say I was a little bit excited. Anyway, enough of that. I've got a 2017 Aston Martin Rapide S downstairs. Yes, this is being filmed on the weekend that Ferrari cancelled their loan car and Aston Martin pulled through and gave me their Rapide S. So let's jump in that car, head up to Gaydon, check out this DBS Superleggera, fall in love, probably dribble a little bit, but have a wicked day, and hopefully we can all learn quite a lot of stats and facts about Aston Martin's brand new car. Here we are in the perfect environment to give a quick and brief overview into why I love Aston Martin so much. Firstly, the Rapide S is surprisingly cool. You step inside and it just smells of Aston Martin. It's got so many familiar buttons, center console, steering wheel and seats that you know you're in an Aston Martin. Some manufacturers lose a little bit of their character and soul when they go a little bit off-piste and build a car that they're not used to building. Aston Martin wanted to build an Aston Martin that they could just fit 4 adults in, and I can confirm it does that. I've had friends in the back of this car, very comfortable. They are also the coolest rear seats I've ever seen on any car. Moving on from the Aston Martin Rapide, let's talk about my first experience behind the wheel of an Aston Martin, driving the V12 Vantage S. Now, this was a car that I was seriously considering when swapping my Lamborghini Gallardo for a new car. It was between the Aston Martin DBS, the Aston Martin V12 Vantage S, and the AMG GTS. Coincidentally, Aston Martin could have also been one of the catalysts that started Supercars of London, because it was a DB9 that I saw that was the first car that I saw when I went up to London with my dad for the GCSE art project. We were on Old Brompton Road, just come out of South Kensington High Street train station, and there it was, a grey Aston Martin DB9, and it cruised up one of the side streets, and from that moment in, I was hooked on supercars. So let's just get to Gaydon as quickly and as safely as possible to stand next to the brand new Aston Martin DBS Superleggera. Woo! I'm getting excited, I'm getting hot under the collar. We have made it. I've parked the Rapide S up in quite wonky fashion, actually. It's 5 meters long, but there is no excuse for how I've parked there. I might actually have to straighten that up, but we are here. The DBS Superleggera is inside the flagship Super GT car to come from Aston Martin. The Vantage is their sporty car. The DB11 is their GT car. The DBS is going to sit right in the middle in the way that that car sits on the Aston Martin product line, and oh my God, I'm excited. I just need to head in, sign in, and then take the covers off the DBS Superleggera. There are a couple of DB11s in the car park. We cannot ignore the DB11s that are here. They look beautiful. A couple of them have just left. Alex's Audi S1 is here because he's inside. So I'm going to head in. Let's both enjoy and welcome the DBS Superleggera into the world at the same time. I cannot wait to bring you a first glimpse of this car. So let's head in and enjoy. Oh, and here's Alex. Hello.
Welcome.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Aston Martin DBS Superleggera. You do not understand how excited I am to not only be standing next to this car, but to be giving you an exclusive insight into such a beautiful machine that has come out of the Aston Martin factory. It is a 5.2 litre V12 that pushes out 725 PS, 900 Newton meters of torque. It's just under 1700 kilograms dry mass. The top speed of the Aston Martin DBS Superleggera is 211 miles an hour. 0 to 100 kilometers an hour, or 0 to 62, is 3.4 seconds. But the most exciting fact about this car is that it only takes 4.2 seconds from 50 miles an hour to 100 miles an hour. And data suggests that that is around a second quicker than the Ferrari F12. Let's talk a little bit about the name Superleggera, which, as a lot of you will know, comes from the DB4 from the 1950s and now is bearing on this. This is Aston Martin's modern interpretation of what Superleggera means: super light. The aluminium bodied chassis, the exterior carbon, the lightweight materials inside, and even the name Superleggera provides a flair and excitement around the car. And when you say DBS Superleggera, it just rolls off your tongue. And imagine how cool is this if you own one of these cars, to just be saying, oh yeah, I've got an Aston Martin DBS Superleggera. When you sit inside the new DBS, you are greeted with a beautiful variety of leather, satin chopped carbon and Alcantara. We have got a sports steering wheel here, which feels so nice to hold. We've got extended paddles here, which come from the Aston Martin Vantage. The DB11 has got much smaller paddles. It's just a little bit more of a comfy cruiser. In here, you feel like there is a purpose about this car. But inside, I feel like I am sat in a Batmobile. In the wing mirrors, you get the satin finish on the paintwork on the outside, and it just looks so aggressive. When you look in the mirror, I'm looking at the rear of the car now. This is probably the only time that I will look in the wing mirror of a car and see the rear of my own car. The center console is very similar to the DB11, but obviously the satin chopped carbon here, which is a standard feature on all DBS Superleggeras. And around you've got Bang & Olufsen. It's just such a nice place to be. I am a big fan of the DB11 as it is, but then to be sat in this car, it is the DB11 on steroids, leather, Alcantara. Just look at the design on the door card. It is so impressive, and the level of attention to detail on this car is second to none. But from the outside is really where I feel it excels. There is no angle that looks bad, and just to have this opportunity, a first look at this car before it even comes out, my mind boggles at just how cool this thing is. And my God, what I would do to own one of these one day. I came quite close in trying to buy an old DBS with the 6 litre V12, but was scared away with some of the pre-owned running costs, because when cars change hands, you don't know what the history is like, and I was scared by some of the running costs. But now with this car, it just brings back my love for Aston Martin again. And sat here in the pilot seat, I call it the pilot seat, this isn't the driver's seat, this is the pilot seat. This instrument cluster here and the Batman-esque style leather design that you've got surrounding it is just such an inspiring place to be, that I just want to drive it out of this room. It is the coolest thing. The seats are amazing. The design on them, they're just very, very comfy. I mean, you could do endless miles in this. I did a fuel efficiency challenge with the DB11. I went from Gaydon to Inverness on 1 tank of fuel. So we all know that it is fairly fuel efficient, and that comes from the twin turbo nature of the engine. But I feel now what we need to do is hear this car, just so that we can get a well-rounded, full idea of just how mean and aggressive and menacing and sinister this car is going to be on our roads. That was nuts.
That car is mad.
Yeah, the car is awesome. The car is so aggressive. We're just walking out of Aston Martin now. So that was in Aston Martin's design studio, and they are giving private customers the opportunity of having a look at it and
yeah, I think they're
specking it.
Specking them as well.
Yeah. So like a really, really cool and exclusive opportunity. Saying goodbye to the Aston Martin Rapide, sadly, and jumping in the Audi S1. It's a beautiful day, absolutely.
Oh, it's hot.
Beautiful, and it is, yeah. It's hot, but oh my god, we just saw the DBS Superleggera. I can now get a little bit more excited. Oh, that was Andy Palmer walking in. Oh man, what Aston Martin are doing is amazing. Now, I have always loved the Aston Martin brand. The DB9 was one of the first cars I ever saw in London. That really sparked my passion for seeing cars out on the road and in the flesh. And then to watch Aston Martin progress, and to be honest, jumping in the Rapide S, which is one of the final pure thoroughbred Aston Martins before AMG and Aston Martin combined to create the ultimate supergroup when it comes to supercars. The DB11 is still up there with being one of my favorite cars, and one day I will own a variant of the DB11. It's such a special car, and it really pays homage to the old DBS, the 2007 one, which we all know from Casino Royale for flipping. That DBS, still to this day, is such an iconic car. It is so beautiful, it sounds amazing, and I do think that DBS is the sort of the right step forward. It's the right
100%.
It's not really a replacement to the old DBS, but to see that name back on an Aston Martin and to see it on that car is so cool. And then add obviously the Superleggera.
Yeah,
it's a really special car.
We saw the third generation DBS, the old one, as we were driving in, and this one is so much more
so this is the fourth generation DBS, the third being the one that we all saw in Casino Royale, and there was a couple more from the 1960s and the 1970s which I didn't really do too much research on. But that car is up there with one of, if the most exciting car. I'm going to say it's the most exciting car. I'm most excited about driving that car on the road. Now that we have seen it, it all makes sense.
It's Aston Martin design language from about 3 different cars, I would say.
And the Zagato, the DB11,
and the Vantage.
Yeah.
They've combined the perfect aspects of all 3 into just an even better looking car than I could imagine.
I just want one. DB11 sounds good, looks classy, looks elegant, and I'm staring at one right now. I mean, and it's a beautiful spec, dark red. It just looks so cool. There we go, ladies and gentlemen. That is a vlog at a morning at Aston Martin, checking out the Aston Martin DBS Superleggera. When they tweeted that, I screamed around Parker's house, and we all got very excited about what the car would look like, how would it perform. That car is a direct rival to the 812 Superfast. That is how serious Aston Martin are taking it. I cannot wait to drive one. Ladies and gentlemen, please give this video a thumbs up, subscribe if you haven't already, and thank you for supporting Supercars of London. I'm now with Alex, heading back home, so I will see you very, very soon. Cheers guys, and take care.